Line right here.
Back over here?
Well, get your gear out, put it to the side.
Okay.
Then we're going to bring all the canoes to this side. Then what we do is we just sweep all the rice to the middle. I'm probably going to do that. Okay, Brad. Brad, you can, we want everybody, this is how we do it, we get off the canoes, right? All the canoes are coming in, we take this, and we're going to flip this canoe over like this. Then somebody has to get out there and just push that rice in. Yep. Yeah, we're just going to pile it now, we'll split it up and we get everybody's canoe in here. So the goal here is just to get all the rice out of the canoe, and then everybody else that's here, just start picking out little leaves, grass sticks, so we're always cleaning our rice. And that way you get to see what the rice looks like. If you leave your rice on the tarp for an hour, most of the bugs will jump off. If you put a bag of wild rice in your car will fill with bugs. So it's your call. But you notice how I grabbed all that rice, all those bugs left that rice? See, these guys, they just know how to get these going right to the edge of the tarp, see them?
No.
I don't know how they know it, or what they do, but they're just heading off.
That sounds good.
My daughter, we harvested, and goes, "Dad, it's raining inside here, you know." And then we take our blue seat cushion, we'll put that on top of the rice because you can't hear the rice when there's rice in your canoe. And for I'm push pulling, I need to be able to hear the sound of that rice hitting that seat cushion. That tells me how the rice is coming in. Okay, that's the string that we used. Okay, you guys, this one's done, right? So this canoe comes off. The next canoe comes up. I need somebody to grab this end and for me to haul it back up. This one here.
Yes,
For me to haul mine.
Hop over the red one.
Yeah, I just need to hand with this one here. Thank you.
Okay. So for the Facebook audience, Lee, tell us how it was.
Good. The rice is prime. Everybody had good knockers, and we were able to get some rice in. We're going to have a good lunch, and we're going to go back out there. And in talking with a few people, we're going to spend the night. Some are going to spend the night tonight. I have to go home, drop off some equipment.
Okay.
But we're coming back tomorrow. We're going to rice because the lake right now is prime. It's like
that's great.
Falling in. Everybody got some good rice.
Excellent.
And you can see it coming in. So that rice, I always used to give my first canoe load to the community that I'm ricing on.
Sure.
So, but that rice, you know, if you guys use it for like you were talking about for feed your community, it's going to make everything good for your community.
That's awesome.
A lot of good spirit food, people working hard for the whole weekend and feed the community that way. It's going to be good.
That's cool.
Yeah. Let me go down here and see what they're doing. Good job. Okay, everybody, we're cleaning the rice. We're always doing this for the rest. Even in your canoe, you're always picking up sticks out of your rice.
Yep.
When you spread it out like this, it gives a chance for the bugs to come out. And there are, I saw rice worms yesterday. I don't see them yet today.
Rice worm.
Yeah, little white worms. It's a sign of a healthy bed. What I do is when I have vegetarians with me, I show them the rice worm first, and then they clean the rice really good.
That's great.
So you have to know where people are at to motivate them the right way. But this is also a chance for you to hear the sound of this stuff. It really looks good out there. And so we're going to, I have to go back tonight, take some of my equipment back, my children back home. So we're going to be back out here tomorrow after noontime, say. So I'm going to leave my canoe and tent here, a couple things so we can eat for a day or so, and invite anybody that wants to come out with us tomorrow. to enjoy the day. If you don't have to go out ricing, I want to thank you so much for coming because now you know, and I wanted you to know.
Isn't that pretty?
On the rice songs, my daughter, they hum songs when they're out ricing, I had an elaborate ordeal. I was practicing the whole week to teach her this rice song I knew. When we get out to the lake, she's already singing the song. So I just have to back up, and let her do that, But that was a real simple song that I sung, and if you guys have some good young kids that are good singers, I encourage them to come up with some good rice songs. I just thank the Creator for letting us have some rice to eat for our communities. Then we bundled one bundle of rice to let that rice bed and people know that we're coming here in a good way to get some rice for our families. So all these little leaves and stuff like this, we're always cleaning that rice because we're going to be dancing on this and we don't want anything else. So I want everybody to come here and give this a chance if you can. But even things like this, right? We're just getting them out of the rice. And it gives you a chance to see what the heck is in a rice bed.
There's a pretty purple one.
That's how we do it. Tip it over. Now see? When this comes over here, I need people over here. It can't just be me
That's
doing
a
this.
half. Off the lake.
But we just have to get over here, and it's always cleaning your rice. So I'm going to back up and let you guys get a chance at this because I do this a lot. And I need you guys to get some muscle memory here. Okay. Yep, I'll hold it up and scoop it out. Usually we'll have one person on the tarp scooping out the rice onto the tarps.
How big are the rice worms?
They can be
Would that be like this?
3/8 of an inch. White one, yeah, that's a rice worm.
Okay.
Wow.
They're edible.
No thanks.
Delicacy.
I'll pass.
I'll
Go
eat
ahead,
it
buddy.
now.
They're edible, eh?
Go ahead, Jimmy. Do it. You're on Facebook too, live. Oh, that's just nasty.
A little gritty.
You're a bad guy.
Edible though.
I was waiting for him to go. I was kidding.
I'll tell them what really happened.
No, they're edible. They're,
Wow.
I didn't expect grit.
I didn't expect you to do that. Guys, this is, we're on Facebook Live.
Yeah.
So everybody's seen that.
Hey, you heard him say it was edible.
Folks, this is our inland biologist, Jim's Garavaglia, too, by the way. He just,
And I will eat anything that somebody
Apparently.
tells me is edible.
Brad, you want to put up there?
wow. That was great. Totally did not expect that.
See if I can find another one for you, Des.
No, I'll pass. I take your word for it.
There's man out there.
I will, Brad. As soon as he gets back down here, he's carrying a canoe. Edible. Love it. So, Josh, what'd you think?
Lots of rice out there.
Yeah? Good?
Yeah.
Brad Callio said hi, Lee, just now on
Hey,
Facebook.
Brad.
One,
Yep, we usually push it to the middle, between the seats. Sometimes you have a much bigger tarp, depends on how much rice we have, But like you seen that one canoe full of rice that we showed pictures of yesterday? You see it? When you come in with a good rice though, that tarp might just barely be big enough. And it'll be like 6 to 8 inches tall, full of rice. That's good, right there. Bring it over to this side.
It is, Craig, and we're
We're trying to get
got
this
Lee here
blood
teaching, so
stuff
we
off.
can bring this back to our community.
We're going to bring this next one in here. Okay, and we're going to tip it up. Now see, look how that green rice is, right? The other rice is already changing color. See it out there? That's green rice. So what we cooked yesterday was green rice. We parsed it up. And that's good to do it that way.
This looks a little bit farther along.
It really ripened up from the test knock that Jen did. Just the last couple of days really ripened up. Huh? So like we came here next, maybe in 4 or 5 days, when I'm with a class, we come regular, you know, and 1 week we rice, it was good, but the next week, everybody saw how much bigger the grains were, how much fatter they were, and it's good to know that because, but like a lot of things, people want to harvest early, and today it was perfect for harvesting. It was right at the peak of harvest.
We kind of thinned it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the rest of the stuff goes
Yeah, that looks good
Yeah.
up there.
the kernels, I guess is what you call it.
Then you seen that flat bottom boat with the motor and the oars?
Yeah.
They don't know what they were doing, but they were knocking a lot of rice in the water, and they were flattening plants all the way down. And that's one of the reasons why we don't like to use a flat bottom boat. And I'm going to encourage the environmental department to use a canoe. You can still use an outboard to get there quicker, but when you get into the rice lake, pull that up and then use the paddles. It's just respectful, and I'm not against technology, but it really pushes the plant down premature. So if it pushes the plant down before it gets a chance to pollinate, it just won't make any rice. But yeah, it was. It's really beautiful out there. Okay, this is pretty good.
How big of an area, you think?
I didn't go to the end of it, but we saw
I use Google Earth. It's about half a mile.
of rice after we turned around. It's still back
From
there.
start to finish, it's about half a mile.
Okay, so where we turned around at is further back than that.
I didn't see where you guys turned around at. We barely even got
I
in
saw more in front of me, and I just turned around to make sure that I was here so that when people come off the dock, the first thing you do before you take care of yourself, honestly, is you take care of your rice. Okay, if elders came by and they see a pile of rice with a bunch of sticks in it, they would chastise you for that. You know, like, that guy doesn't know what he's doing. It's like shooting a deer and letting it hang and rot in your yard. So you're always taking care of this rice.
I'll let her know, Ma.
See, there's a little stick right there. There's little leaves right there. You see the tiny little
Yep.
leaves? If you can reach that and pull it out.
I see it.
So I get a little anal retentive maybe, but it's, you know, you don't want to dry that, clean it, stomp on it, dance on it. Yep. Really good job, you guys, cleaning that rice. It looks good. Looks really good.
You want to move this
Yep,
boat
let's
back?
go up there. How many crews do we have out now? 3, 4?
We had 8 total.
4 out? Okay. So, I'm going to go make sure that we got lunch getting ready to go. But, so you guys know the process here. Canoes come up, unload it, get the gear out. Up there, rice here. Then we're going to find that sunny spot behind the tent, and we're going to let this dry. You're going to see a difference just in today. And you can already see how that green rice is compared to the rice that's been out for just a half hour. So if you're drying it for food like we're going to do, you start drying it right away. If you want to save these for seeds, because they fall in the water, they stay dormant. I take a Rubbermaid container and I put these seeds in water. That keeps them in a dormant state. If you keep them out of the water just for 10-15 minutes, you go from 100% viability to 95 to 75 to 65. You can still plant them, but the seed viability decreases. And when you store seeds in the water for planting, it keeps them in that dormant state. And the other thing is we store seeds in the water for planting in the springtime. We just don't do a fall planting because sometimes there's the ducks are there eating the seeds.
Right.
And so if that's the migratory birds are the problem, we can store the rice under the water in a mesh bag, and we can actually put that rice on top of the ice, or we could put that rice first ice out and put it out there, and it'll take off from there. But you're avoiding the migratory birds that are feeding on the seeds, if that's the issue. The other problem in the springtime, you have swans, the invasive swans, the mute swans. They like to pick up wild rice under the water when it's brand new shooting. So if you're seeding a rice bed, they might get it all, okay? And ducks and geese then, they like it when it's above the water, and they'll eat that seed down to where it gets a little bit tough for them. Just like when you snap asparagus, there's a spot where it's tender and woody. But the geese will eat each leaf down to one spot. And so you see a rice bed with a bunch of leaves eaten at different heights. That's probably geese this time, early in the springtime, or maybe ducks this time of year. So every part of the rice plant has different birds that come after it, and you know what the birds are, and you know the area. I've been able to see rice beds or know that they were there just by the birds that were on the water. You saw red-winged blackbirds, which like the seed right before it's ripe, and we saw the black terns, which like to nest on this. So my friend heard the black terns. You saw the red wings, I was about 90% sure that was wild rice. We went out there, sure enough, that's what it is. So when you start seeing enough rice beds, you start identifying the birds, you start identifying the companion plants. And so for instance, on the river that I'm working in that was hit by oil spill in Kalamazoo, I'm going down the river, it's brand new, and their silt is just now starting to come back into the river because they built a new river, the Kalamazoo. So I'm identifying the arrowheads, the pond lilies, the white and yellow lily pads, because I know that's growing in that flocculent Humboldt muck, and those plants are telling me where the muck is accumulating on the bottom of the river. So I GPS tag them for either next year or in a few years. That's where the river is depositing its sediment at, and those other plants are helping me to identify maybe future rice beds. So it's kind of a long-range project. Brad's been helping me now for a year and a half, getting out there and doing some work. And but it's all about just, making this place good again for us. And my belief is we're getting this place ready for our relatives in Oklahoma and Kansas. We're going to be coming back this way again. That's our story. We live where the rice is, and I think climate change in Oklahoma and Kansas is going to be pretty crazy. And I want this place to be good for our relatives when they come back home, because I think they're gonna. Really good, you guys. We're gonna do that, but right now this is for the canoes coming off the landing.
Okay.
Then we're gonna pick this up to that sun over there to start drying it. Okay, now
I wasn't sure if it,
here's what we can do.
something.
They're about there. They're probably ricing, right? They weren't coming back with us.
Not,
didn't see anybody
no,
else.
they were.
Good. So we can take this back up there if we take another tarp, the one that's over the wood pile,
Okay.
and bring it out here, okay? And that blue tarp belongs to the tribe now, along with the ricing pit. And if you have somebody responsible, I can use my ricing pit for sure. But we wanted to finish this rice for you guys, this first rice.
Okay.
And I don't know, maybe send somebody back here in the afternoon,
Yeah.
pick it up for the second and third day of
Yeah.
drying.
We'll have crew down here again tomorrow.
Yeah, it's a good time. And if you want to save some of these for seeding, we can talk about that technique. Or I just put them in Rubbermaid containers and keep them wet.
Well, on I think it's the 7th of September, we're picking up about 6 tons of seed.
Yeah.
So.
And I want to encourage you, if you can get just members of your community to make a mud ball with the rice in it.
Yeah, we need to learn that.
And just to do that, because the more that, what I really like about your community, you're starting to work with the environmental department and the community together. I just want to encourage you to strengthen that. The good rice programs in the state are really integrating those two elements together well. And our citizens are going to see more rice than I'll ever see. They'll see more locations. And once they see where it grows at, they'll find other places like it. And that's where we're going to put seeds at. And that's how we're going to make this place back into our Garden of Eden again. So yeah, go ahead, Brad. Pick these corners up, put them in the sun. What I do is I take a wooden paddle and put them on the sides and a push pole along one edge so that the wind doesn't pick it up. And yeah, so go ahead and use a paddles or push poles or even bricks. I don't like to use logs because logs put bugs back on the tarp. Logs will put bugs back on the tarp. So I use my push pole, paddle, or a rock. Or if you have a real clean piece of lumber, you can use that. But you know how wood has stuff in it. Good job, you guys. You get it up there. Put it right there and look.
In the sun?
Well, just know where the sun's going, right?
Okay.
Because you don't want to move it every half hour.
That's out here.
It is, but we can't watch it do it. And if it grows, it's not going in the water. Yeah. Well, you've done enough of that. Yeah, but it's so imperfect a method. Over here, it'll be longer, right? Yeah. Yeah, I'll get more of the way up there.
Is the function paddle or something different?
There is a paddle right there, Josh.
Paddles, there's a couple of rocks someplace I saw earlier. Maybe that's at my camp. That's really good, you guys. tell you, it was really good to turn around and see 6, 8 canoes behind us, with us. I got some pictures of them all, have the rice sticks in the air. It was really beautiful, guys, and thank you so much for helping facilitate.
Oh, well, we appreciate all the help, Lee.
Eat off it for a few days. We were all
Yeah. Well, we could eat this rice and feed ourselves today with this. This community right now. And we were just out there for an hour, right?
Yeah.
And that's what we need to create, to put this rice for us to eat. And as you can see, it's still possible to feed your family for a good part of the year.
And that's still only half the boats.
And they're out longer than we are.
Right.
And we were only out there a little bit. Tomorrow, or maybe on Tuesday, we're going to, I have to go back and drop my equipment off, my children back. There's a few people that are going to be camping here tonight for tomorrow. And then tomorrow, you know, if you're going to be here, get water, get your lunch. Make sure you take care of your, you know, if you have to go to the bathroom first, it's horrible to be a half hour into a ricing trip and you forgot to take the keys. But I think we can really do well for our families. The rice is really good, coming in real easy. And that's a lot better than it was just 2 days ago from what Jen had. You see how much, remember those seeds? These really ripened up in the last 2 days, as you can see. Right. And, you know, I'm not saying we're going to fill up a canoe tomorrow, but that's very possible here.
So, Lee, if it was raining like yesterday, where would we be drying this? Just under a tarp, a pavilion? I mean,
Yes,
no sun?
I have, I usually carry a larger tent, like a warehouse tent, to put all my gear and stuff in.
Okay.
And I'll put the rice, if I can, I'll let it sit an hour outside. Now, we were at one lake, and we had just come off the lake ricing, and it was raining. And it rained the whole weekend. We were just kind of going in and out between the rain showers. So nobody had a chance to dry the rice. Well, this guy named Jonesy from Oneida, he works at the Oneida farm. A lot of people know who he is. I've been ricing off and on with him the last few years in Wisconsin mostly. So we were at Lac View Desert actually. We had a bunch of rice, all of us. And we had mesh bags this full in Wisconsin. He took out a container of salt and put it in his rice. And then put another one inside there.
Help dry it.
He kept it dry until he could get home or when the rain stopped.
Sure.
And so I'd never thought about that. And so I tried it. And sure enough, it worked, you know.
Yeah.
And then I that particular batch, I parched it, cleaned it, and it wasn't salty. All the salt had stood on the outside of the husk, or
That's great.
it came off when we were processing it. But yeah. But you know, in the back of his trunk, you know, he had no worry in the world. I'm all saying, what am I going to do with this rice? I was going to stop at a motel. I was going to drive north to get out of the rain showers and let it dry for a day or two. And I see him pouring that salt in there, and it's like, well, what are you doing? He goes, well, I hadn't had a chance to dry this, and he had about probably a dozen of those salt containers in the back, putting it on his rice. Yeah, so that's something I learned from him, what to do when it's raining.
That's great.
The rice is out there, but getting it under a tarp. You see the sun's already getting this one, huh?
Mm-hmm.
See how the shade got it? Maybe try that one over there. Yeah. And I'd get another oar or two on 4 sides, because it's not windy now. But if the wind picks up all of a sudden and you're 25 yards away, that might be too late to save your tarp, right? And I've had a tarp pick up the rice on it. You know, after you do that much work, it's hard to see that.
Oh, yeah.
Now, but when we need to make sure that, I think, if we take that tarp that's over by
Sure
the
thing,
wall,
Chris.
That tarp can be used for fold it in half, and when the next canoes come off, we're going to process their canoes the same way, empty the canoes off, and then we'll be able to tell just with an hour or two difference how much different this rice looks like from green rice. And that way you'll be able to tell pretty much what it is. That's beautiful.
Is that a good haul?
Huh?
Is that no good for them all?
For every first time in a real short day, yeah. Honestly, yeah. Hot and dry.
I can already tell it's got sun over here.
So who's still out, Josh? Who do we got out yet? Tanya.
Jonathan's out.
With, oh yeah, Jonathan, Sin, Matt's out.
Yep, Matt's still out. But
Tina. Who we missing?
oh yeah, I don't know who they were. They came this morning.
Yeah, that new group.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a couple. I don't know who they were. They were here yesterday.
I don't remember them. Huh. So we still got 4
young
canoes
couple,
though.
young kids. Yeah, the young couple with the kid.
Okay. All right. Very cool. Well, I'm gonna log somebody's back. All right.
Oh yeah, we need to get that tarp off.
Get that other tarp so we can get that
Which one were we planning on using? I don't know how you use that.
over the wood pile, Jimmy. The one from the wood pile. It's Tanya. Did you go swimming? It's not too late. We can have Josh throw you off the dam.
That was cool.
Oh, you guys got some good rice.
Try to pull you.
Wow. Nice job.
Just get us hooked on it, I'll walk all the way up. Right through the spider web.
Just jump out. Jump
I don't
out.
want to touch no water.
Come on, it's not cold and it's not deep. Just jump out.
It's actually pretty warm.
You don't want a spider.
Oh my god! That's nasty.
Hey, don't help your boy. Gee.